what to do.
The Guardian just an article about it.
Exactly, the Observer did yesterday.
Yeah.
So,
Idea Store.
Idea Store, thank you very much, yes. And the Observer story, which I was going to mention, is really important because it starts to show the shift in the attitude toward Dell. Because what happened was, I think they said 85,000 people came in and said, what I want you to do, Dell, is give me a machine without Windows and give it to me with Linux. And Dell came back and the Observer started making fun of them. They said, well, no, we kind of can't. Okay, you know, same old Dell stuff. But the Observer article was sympathetic to them because it said that, indeed, there are so many different flavors and means of Linux that you can't install one to make everybody happy. And so they don't know where to turn there. And so there was a sympathetic view of Dell. But yes, they said no to the customer, but there was a reason and there was a chance to try to work around. And the kicker of the story, the column, was that the big complaint people have is all the free samples of stuff that goes in the machine, called crapware. And the problem is you can't get it off, and it affects your registry and all these things that I don't deal with anymore because I have my Apple. But I remember that hell of dealing with that. And so Dell himself was at some event where somebody challenged him about this, and he pointed out, well, honestly, well, we got paid for that, obviously. And the guy in the audience, according to this, said, well, I'll pay $60 to not get the crap. And Dell said, sold. And whether he does it or not, who knows? But that shows the value to me of that personal relationship. So here are your customers telling me, they're giving you the gift of telling you what do I want. And to not find some way to deal with that is insanity. It's absolute insanity. So the Dell story, I think, almost, well, we'll see if it's a happy ending or not, but the arc is turning happier now in Dell, and I'm curious to see where this goes. Oh, they also have a team now. It's important. One of the things was said when I was doing my ranking was, well, they can't possibly reach out to every damn blogger who has a complaint. And I said to them, well, actually, if they did, it'd probably be more efficient. They'd save, time at the call center. They'd save all this hassle. They'd save bad PR. They'd say, well, actually, yeah, it would be efficient. And by God, it is. And so they now have a team of geeky geeks who are there to reach out to the bloggers. And I mentioned in one post at some point that I was rid of my old machine. My son had one that had one lingering problem, and I mentioned this. And this guy was stalking me from Dell. I must fix it. He had to bring me home. He had to bag me and bring me in. Right? I must fix it. I said, well, that's really okay. No, really, I want to fix it. And but this guy now reaches out directly to people, and they had a video of them, of the team, and it's a very funny video. I recommend watching it because they're all scared being on camera and all. And one guy, they said, well, you dealt with Jeff Jarvis. And well, yes, he was actually okay. He was a nice enough guy. It was all right. But that was the point. And I did a little video about the video saying, yeah, I don't bite. I'm just a customer. It's okay. You can talk to me. And in fact, when you do that, reasonable things happen. So the Dell story to me is fascinating because it takes that arc from screw Dell to okay, let's have a conversation. And I think that's a really good arc to go on. Were you gonna? No, I'm sorry. It was head scratch. Okay. So I also like to contrast that with who here has a Trio? I think it's bigger in the U.S. No one has a Trio.
We have Nokias. We have Nokias.
Okay, yeah. I love my Trio. My Trio is beloved. I would take it out right now, but I don't. I'm stuck with this bad Windows thing for GSM that I got at Davos. I bought it. I didn't take it. I bought it. I bought it. Yeah, long story. But I love my Trio dearly. And there's a blog called Trio Nuts. I'm forgetting his name. We forgot his name last night again.
Oh God, I used that in my blog. I forget.
Yeah, really nice guy.
Andrew.
Yes, whatever. So he started a blog because he just loved this one brand, this one product, and he's now made it into it's okay, it's all right. He's now made it into a full-time job, and he has a blog devoted to one individual product, which is phenomenal. And he sells accessories there through an affiliate program. He has ads there, and it is the best possible place for me to get information about my Trio. So I never go to Sprint, my carrier in the US, because I'll spend hours on the phone with God knows where in the world and get nowhere. If I have a problem with my Trio, or if I want to go to Trio, I go to Trio Nuts or Trio Central, which is a forum. And what's amazing about this is that if you just hand over control to your customers, they will give back so much. So in the case of these Trio fanatics, we give, he gives, but all of us as a community give Trio as a community customer service. If I have a problem, I go to the forum, I put in a question. If the answer's not already there, someone's going to answer it for me, and I can figure out stuff. I bought my new Trio. I wanted to use it as a modem for my laptop. I needed to do that on the wire, not the Bluetooth, because it doesn't work well enough. What do I do? Go here, get that, do this, do that. Done. I would never have gotten that out of Sprint. Never. But there is a community providing its own customer service. How wonderful that is, how cheap that is, right? And how do you support that? But beyond that, they also sell the product. They explain to people, why should you buy the Trio? How wonderful it is. They actually sell the product. They provide the marketing message. Now, I can imagine ad people saying, well, but their message is off. Well, then your message is off, right? If it's off message, it's not it's not their problem, because they're the ones who have the reason to buy it. They're explaining why to buy it. That's the message you want. They even provide product design. The guy at TrioNauts has taken pictures of the Trio and photoshopped them. You know, well, if we're only 5% wider, they can fit this button in there, and they move buttons around and do stuff to it. Well, how amazing is that? Your customers are telling you exactly what they want. So they provide customer service, sales, marketing, and product design. What do you have to do to get that? You've got to hand over control. You've got to stop being Dell and saying, no, you have to come to us. And you've got to let people do what they do and then encourage that. Now, I don't know, I'm told that Palm, and Palm's one of your clients, I think.
It is in the
US.
but not here.
And I think there, someone said, oh yes, they listen. And with Edelman's advice, I would expect that would be the case. But if they're smart, they will listen. And they'll do that.
How do they hand over control? I mean, this guy sort of just started doing this, and